Throughout the 290 constituencies in Kenya, we are having something that is called public participation on the CDF issue. My view on CDF is that my heart says that we let it continue, and my head tells me that we stop. People from Malava with a V, so the late Malulu Injendi by half a dozen city hoppers. So one would expect people from Malava to say that there is no need of CDF. People from Dagoretti South would fight not just to retain it, but to double it. So expect people to react according to their constituencies. If your constituency, you saw a lot of development through CDF, then I know you will really support it. But if you come from a place like Malava, where we wonder where the millions went to, you would be excused if you said that it should be done away with. I know people from Dagoretti South would not believe it if they were told that I am against NG-CDF. Honorable KJ built half a dozen schools, half a dozen secondary school, or if you want to call it half a dozen senior schools from ground, when Malulu Injendi bought the same number of used city hoppers. Imagine, on one hand, KJ just found land somewhere, build a school from the field, Kiwanja, with everything. Over 18 classrooms, office, staff room, everything. But Malulu Injendi the late bought the same number of second-hand used city hopper like buses. 6. This one 6, the other one 6. One of the schools built by KJ was from land that was saved, that a saved or a born-again bishop had grabbed from Riruta Satellite Primary School. I am heavily connected to it. The BOM committee that recovered the land, 5 acres, I was a member of it. So we recovered it from born again, hallelujah, bishop. Then we returned it to Riruta Satellite Primary School. And when KJ was constructing imagine in a single year, KJ built 6 secondary schools. So when it came to building a secondary school in Riruta Ward, KJ had constructed a school, a brand new school called Durarwa Secondary School. But then we told him here are 5 acres of unused. He said Riruta's chance has been taken, but later on, being the leader that all leaders should be, and I'm also proud of his age mate called Nabi Nabwera, he decided to have a second secondary school in Riruta. That school is on in a neighboring. They share the same compound with the Riruta Satellite Primary School, but built from land that had been grabbed from Hallelujah Bishop. So you see, these people say they are saved, but they are also land grabbers. So I know Dagoretti South people would be shocked that you have played a big role in the CDF. We have built several police stations within Dagoretti South. As we speak, I have a blueprint of two things to be built in Dagoretti South. I have a blueprint in my mind of a divisional headquarters to be moved from Kabete to Riruta. I have also in my mind a ultra-modern police canteen at Riruta. But then, as I said, my head tells me this and my heart tells me that. Now, when did CDF start? CDF Act was enacted in 2003, and as I said, many schools, health centers, water projects, roads, chief's offices, police posts and stations have been constructed across the country. In these 22 years of CDF, I would expect most of the Kenyans to say that that is the only development they have seen. And majority of the Kenyans would tell you that every year the government brags that they have developed this and they have developed this, and they only hear it from the government. But what they have seen and what they can witness is that CDF has done a lot in constructing things that I've just mentioned. That if it was uh, if it was the choice of Kenyans, they would want it to be even not even doubled, but made 10 times what it is. So I say the CDF started in 2003. It was later found to be unconstitutional. Somebody went to the court and then they altered it. The alteration is still found to be unconstitutional, and hence the debate today. The public participation now going on will end with a constitutional amendment, and in future, somebody will go to court and it will be found to be unconstitutional. So you will find that it is something that will be going on. They amend this, they do that, they do that, they do that repeatedly. So it will be a game of day and night. You enjoy sunshine during the day, knowing that again night will come. And then when you're in the darkness, you know that you'll just wait for the day to come. That is on and off, on and off. Apart from scholars, everyone in Kenya has seen what positive things CDF and later NG-CDF has brought. Chances of the chances of memorandum being followed after NC-GDF, I'll correct myself. Chances of the constitution being amended after NCDF had died are very high. We are going to see a situation where after there is a public participation, it will be embodied into the the constitution, and then after it has been done, that somebody else will come up several years and it will be declared unconstitutional. The initial reason why CDF was declared unconstitutional was that it is said that a certain share be given to MP for development in his or her constituency. This went against the constitution, which said that an MP's work is, they are given three works: representation, legislation, and oversight. It was felt that they were to oversight development, and who will now oversight what they are doing? They cannot oversight themselves, because if they construct schools, hospitals, and whatever, they are the ones who are to come through parliamentary accounts committee, PSC, to see if this school was built in the amount that was allocated, or if there was if the tendering process was followed at whatever. Now, who will PSC the PSC? That was the problem. You cannot audit an auditor. They then changed the act to National Government CDF, where the MP was just a patron. Uh, but if you know about NG-CDF, and then you tell me that the MP is a patron, well, on paper, but on the ground, nothing changed. He still remained what he was or what she was. One annoying thing about CDF and NG-CDF is the naming of projects. You go everywhere. This building was built by NG-CDF for this and that constituency, and the patron is Honorable so and so. Supposing I'm an MP, I build a police station through CDF or NG-CDF or whatever they'll call it. I build a law court. So when I'm in the police cell, imagine the police station that was built by, I know it has a billboard saying that it was constructed by Honorable JI-TENGE, and the same as the law court that I will appear. I want to ask, why put names, MPs' names there? Who does, if you put there that the building was constructed by NG-CDF or whatever name they are going to name it, and then you say in the financial year 2027 to 2028, who doesn't know who was the MP that area in that time? And if you don't know, why don't you ask around? Why should we have so many big boards of this building or the chief's office was built through NCGF and the patron is Honorable so and so? The late Malulu Njendi would have approached things in a very hilarious way. He would go to a school, look for a building near the gate, repaint it. Imagine it's an old school or an old building, but Malulu Njendi would send thugs who would repaint it, and after repainting it, they would write building constructed. Sad as it is, we have to leave it at that. Concerning bursaries, I have already said, why should two kids from the same school, one whose parent is from Wajir South, that is Abaswein, and another one whose parents are from, let's say, Lugari, get different money? You find that in those remote areas, I have come across cases, and actually there is even a case of a police officer who was uh, who was taken to court for such a case. I'll tell you. But let me say, why should two students who are schooling in the same school, one, the parent or the guardian is a registered voter in a place like North Hor, and the other, whose parent or guardian is registered as a voter in Dagoretti South, get different, uh, what do you call, bursaries? You get that the one who is from Dagoretti South, he or she gets bursary of 5,000 shillings. But the one who is from North Hor is paid everything. Now, this is the case of the police officer. The money that was given by the money that was given by, what do you call, by this CDF from wherever he came from, remote areas, was surpassed the school fees by 5,000. What do I mean by surpassing the school fees by 5,000? I mean the money that was given to the school, the check that was given to the school, paid for school fees the whole year, school uniform, full school uniform for the whole year, and still some money remained. So this police officer went to the bazaar and said that the excess amount should be given to him. The bazaar said that he cannot give. The only money that he can refund is the money that was given in cash. But such money he cannot give because it is transferred from CDF to the school. The policeman assaulted the buzzer and the case is going on. So why should different students who are learning together be given different funds? I think during my time, money was given to BOG, Board of Governors. I would recommend that money be given to Board of Management so that we don't have, just like in urban areas, in our or constituencies with a lot of people, every student who applies gets, and every student who applies gets 5,000. For a student who is supposed to pay 30,000 and you pay 5,000, the CDF pays 5. That one is a drop in the sea. So problems are not the same. School fees are not the same. It is the members of staff in the staff room when they are taking tea. Don't just think that they take tea at 10 and 4, just that. No. In that, when they are having tea at 10 or even 4 p.m., they usually discuss their students. And when they are discussing their students, they usually discuss such things as a geography teacher would say, "Do you know a student called JI-TENGE? He's very clever in my class. One for my, he's clever in your class, yeah, even in my class and whatever." And then it is found that JI-TENGE is bright in every subject. But the problem is he's having school fees pro. They discuss whatever. They assess. The father can afford 5,000. We from 1 to from 2, we have seen the father can afford 5. Then they take it to the principal, who is the secretary of the board of management. The principal, after listening to that, he presents it to the board of management. The board of management will decide which student needs bursary. You know the way it is now, everybody applies. Children from, just simply because the parent or guardian is a registered voter in that constituency, all students will get 5,000. But when it is run by BOM, every student is assessed. There is a student whom the BOM can decide to pay everything. And there is a student whom the BOM sees, they just call the parent or the guardian and tell the parent or the guardian that you need to pull up your socks. That is why I'm pushing for consolidation of bursaries to the BOM. To the BOM. Those are the best placed people to know who deserves what. But then and then I also want to ask, you see, it is unconstitutional to peg a student's suitability to get bursary by the fact of his or her parent or guardian. We have some parents or guardians who are very crazy, the Shakahola type, those who believe education is useless and whatever. Do you have to tie the student to the parent? The student, remember, in most of the cases, apart from those in tertiary institutions, most of the students are underage. Now you are tying them to parents or guardians that you cannot get a bursary from here because your parent or your guardian is not registered in this constituency or this ward. I didn't want to say this, but as an intelligence officer, I am aware of cases where, let's say, I work in the CDF office and I get a check for a certain school because the checks are written to a certain school. Then I take there, I get a parent who wants to pay fees, let's say cash, 30,000. I have a check for 30,000. I tell the parent, give me 10,000, take this check, and then the school will acknowledge the check to the CDF office. So what I'm trying to say is that if you look at the way the CDF have been done, It is discriminatory. The kids are being judged on the basis of their guardians or parents, political or such whatever leanings, which is unfair. Even this thing that they are calling help, why should a student feel in help depending on the households, whatever? The constitution says that every student needs basic education. So when you tell kids from rich families that they should pay more, then you are discouraging other people from being rich because they'll feel that they'll pay for. Let education, health, and such basic facilities be the state duty. Don't say that you come from a rich family, so you'll pay more help, more university fees than the other one. That is discrimination on the basis of the parents, whatever. You'd even find a poor parent just because he or she would not want to be seen as poor or anything. Would indicate that they are rich. Lastly, I'm saying the demand for new chief's office, police station, health centers are not as high today as they were, let's say, 10 years ago. If you go to most of the constituencies, the MPs already have built over 80% of the police stations. They have built over 80% of the chiefs, health centers, and whatever. It is only that when we are having things like new sub-counties coming up, new police stations, or even upgrading of police stations, upgrading of health facilities and whatever. If I'm not wrong, the demand for such facilities in the today is around a fraction of what it was 10 years ago. So some things should be done about it so that the emerging health facilities, upgrading and whatever, health facilities, police station, chief's offices, and so on, a way be found to handle that, but without having without necessarily having it gone through CDF. With those many remarks, thanks for watching my video today. Thank you.